Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Early Career Academic. On this channel, I explore how I use the Passion Planner to set personal and professional goals. In this video, I'm going to discuss what my plan is for the month of April in order to achieve some of my academic writing goals. Sorry, my cat. I am going to not actually use the Passion Planner to do this. I have a different system for handling what I call a writing sprint month. So I'm going to show you in this video how I go about doing that. But I did want to just begin the video like I always begin it with my Passion Planner. This is the medium, undated, dated for the year 2023. Now, if you've watched any of my Backpages videos, you've seen that I have outlined a bunch of writing goals. I have a bunch of writing specific spreads, and my plan for this month is to show you, to kind of update you on how all of that is going as I go along. But I'll go ahead and start with some of my writing spreads. This is my Year in Pixels PDF. You can get this on the Passion Planner website for free. And you know, what I have is marking down days I don't do any academic writing, days I do research, and days I do actual writing. And it's actually just a really nice checkpoint to come back here every so like every day if possible, but definitely every couple of days to mark it down. And as you can see, March was kind of a wash a little bit. I had, you know, my back issues, there was spring break, there was our trip to Arizona, just a lot of things. And for context, I do teach, you know, 66 advanced writing students this term, and I'm also an administrative leader in the department, so I'm not too hard on myself. I'm actually kind of glad I got any academic research and writing done in this semester, with caring for my daughter on top of all of that. But it is nice for me to kind of check in and be like, oh, it's been a while. I should like find ways to integrate more academic writing into my days or into my weeks. So that's what's happening here on this page. And then this spread here is actually the Gantt chart that I created. If you want to watch that video, I explain how it works, but it tells me what project I should be working on in what part of the semester. So this point in the semester, we are here. This is the month of April, and as you can see, I'm going to be working on this project. I also just got the proofs. I just finished the proofs for an article that's coming out this summer. So that was the simultaneous project work. And then I'd like to wrap this part of this project up before I have to work on this project. And then in the summer, this project will take priority. So that's the plan. And it's nice and useful to me to actually have a map of deadlines and due dates and things to say like, okay, this is what I should be prioritizing in this part of the year. And then other spreads that were related to writing, certainly my spring goals, my spring break goals have writing goals in them. And then the other spreads which have to do with writing is this one, which is about the project I'm currently working on. You can see I've checked off some of the steps, but I have a lot to go. And then these are my someday academic writing projects. This is where I keep track of any ideas that I have for future writing projects. So that's how I use the Passion Planner to organize my academic writing. So that's just a little update on how those things are going. So as I said, in this video, I'm going to show you how I go about setting myself up for an academic sprint month. And this is based on the concept of the NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month in November. There's an academic version of that, which is ACWRIMO, Academic Writing Month, and also in November. But some of us do it again in the spring as well. And the idea is to in the busiest part of the semester, which in the fall is November and the spring is April, we find the time to move our projects forward. And in some ways that time constraint actually helps me. Like I work a little better sometimes when I have less time that I have choice with. But also it's just to kind of like just move the needle as much as you can, even in a busy part of the semester. I will say I just started out with the proofs, and so that's project number 1. And what I'm doing is I'm using the back side of this April calendar to, sorry, I lost my pen, to write about the projects that I'm going to be working on in this sprint. And so the first one was the article proofs. And I already started this because by the time this video is going up, April has already begun. And the proofs didn't take long. I went through and I caught 2 of my own errors, and there was only like a couple of questions from the copy editor or the typesetter, whichever one it was. And so we resolved those, and it's on its way. It's actually kind of nice to start a sprint out with the results of a different sprint. This was definitely, this article came out of a sprint that I did before the baby was born. So it's kind of like, you know, just sort of like a little boost to be like, ah, look, the sprint worked last time. Let's see what we can do with this one. This one won't be as gratifying, as immediately gratifying, because it's part of an edited collection that I'm editing. But so that's the second project, which is the edited collection lit review. This is a relatively new area of research for me. I've only done community engaged work for the last few years, and have been dabbling in the research, not like kind of a concerted lift. So I did collect a bunch of research. I am working on annotations right now. I want to do a research map. I want to see if I need to find additional resources, you know, kind of really fill out that. So this project will be the project that I really focus on for the sprint. And luckily, I don't think I have any other academic writing demands on my time in this month, so I can really lean in and focus on this. The goal, so this is done. The goal of this is to get this to my writing group by the end of the month, the last writing group meeting that we have, so that they can take a look at it and tell me, like, I need more information, or a question about this, or what have you. So that would be amazing if I can get that done. And then I can, you know, reevaluate what I'm doing in the summer months. So these are the academic writing goals. This is very practical, not pretty at all. But as I'll show you in the rest of the video, which will be a little sped up because I took a while to decide how I was going to spend the time in the month, I'll show you how I plan to add up the hours that I have available every week and potentially contribute them toward meeting this particular goal. So as I mentioned, I think in my last plan with me, this is one of the types of videos I plan on putting up in the month of April, are little check-ins to show you how this is going, partly because, you know, I want to blend these 2 things together in my life, these videos that I make for you and this writing goals, to keep myself accountable for sure. Some of you are academics who follow me, and maybe you'll find this interesting. And those of you who aren't, maybe you have projects that you'd like to do sprints on, and I think this model could work really well for a lot of different kinds of projects, so hopefully you find that somewhat interesting. Not giving up on planning videos, just going to reprioritize a little bit to make sure that I am making as much time as possible for this academic writing. So thank you, and let me tell you how I go about deciding how this is going to work in my current schedule. So I take a calendar that I print off the internet, and I take a look at my monthly calendar in my planner to see, like, what do I have going on in this week. It's important to think about both my professional obligations, like meetings and things like that, as well as personal obligations, but also what work I owe my students or my team in any given week. For instance, this week I just remembered that I am going to be grading papers, and so that will mean potentially less time spent on academic writing because I need to get those grades and that feedback to my students. Here I am estimating how many hours per day I think I could do some academic writing. This is an estimate, of course. What I have learned being home and working full-time and watching my daughter full-time is that the days don't always go how I plan, but I'd like to kind of conservatively estimate how much time I could do writing each week, and then give myself a ballpark of the number of hours. And this helps me see if my goal that I set is realistic. And I think with this number of hours, and this is a range that I'm giving myself at the end of the month because there are optional meetings with students, I think it is possible to meet this goal. This helps me too because then when I lay out my week or do my time blocking, I'm like, okay, does this align with my plan that I have set for my sprint? I think it helps that it is a sprint. I know this won't be the pace that I keep forever, so it helps me to potentially push myself a little because I know it will end at some point because I don't think this pace is sustainable. And that's it. Thanks for watching.